Hey guys! Today we will be providing an update on couples from 90 Day Fiancé The Other Way, a 90 Day spin-off where the Americans move abroad to pursue romantic relationships. Stay tuned to find out which couples are still together, who has broken up, and who made their move abroad permanent. Jenny and Samit. Jenny and Samit first appeared on 90 Day Fiancé in 2019, however they have known each other since around 2011. Back then, an enigmatic British gentleman slid into Jenny's DMs. The California native fell in love with the British youngster Michael Jones, only to find out that he is a catfish whose real identity is Samit from India.
A Michael Jones. He looked like an English man, dark hair, very tall and thin. He was actually Samit from India.
Despite that, and the 30-year age gap, Jenny decided to pursue the relationship with him. After a few years of online romance, Jenny visited Samit in India for a few months and resided in his parents' house, befriending his mom. However, Samit's mom now claims that as soon as she found out about the true nature of Samit and Jenny's relationship, she demanded Samit ceases contact with her. Despite that, Samit and Jenny continued to have a relationship online. The next time Jenny came to India was about 5 years later, on season 1 of 90 Day Fiancé The Other Way. Jenny arrived on a tourist visa, hoping Samit would propose and she will be able to adjust her status as his wife. However, Samit was not rushing to get married. It was revealed that Samit actually blindsided Jenny and even the production of 90 Day Fiancé. Jenny found out that Samit is actually married to an Indian woman in a matrimony arranged by their parents. On 90 Day Berzol, show's field producer revealed Samit's marriage was a shock to him, just like it was for Jenny and the viewers.
It astounded me when I found out Samit was married. I was like, how did this dude
Shit, you and me both.
agree to be on a show that is seen around the world?
He thought he was going to get away with it. I don't know the exact time, but at least 6 months I've been there.
And
I think
nobody had any idea.
we'd already been there multiple times. No,
Nobody had any idea he was married.
nobody had a clue.
By the end of the first season, Samit and Jenny were still together, but Jenny had to return to the States as her visa was expiring. Jenny returned to India on season 2 of The Other Way.
Well, look who's back in town.
Samit found them a place to live together, however the matter of marriage and Jenny's visa was not resolved. On the second season, Samit finally divorced his wife, but in an emotional scene, his mom threatened to take her own life if he was to marry Jenny. Samit agreed to compromise and not marry Jenny, but to live with her as partners. As the global pandemic spread, it actually helped Jenny to stay in India. On 90 Day Berzol, she revealed she is able to extend her tourist visa every month and stay in the country rather than leave after 6 months of stay. Currently, Jenny and Samit are still together in India. In April 2021, the couple tested positive for COVID. Samit and Jenny are in high-risk categories, Samit being diabetic and Jenny being an elderly.
I am concerned about coronavirus. I am diabetic and Jenny is old.
The fans were worried about the couple's health, but they made a full recovery. Considering Jenny has been staying in India for well over a year and a half, fans have questioned how she's managed to do it on just a tourist visa. The couple storyline on 90 Day Fiancé The Other Way Season 2 often had her wondering how she could continue her India stay without being married to Samit. Jenny possibly being married to Samit now could be the answer to this dilemma. And perhaps the mystery can be expected to be officially solved when the pair return for the next season of 90 Day Fiancé. Recently, Jenny commented that she cannot disclose their marital status to the fans, but there are certain hints they might have finally tied the knot. Evelyn and Corey. Evelyn and Corey met each other years before filming for 90 Day Fiancé, when the Washington native was backpacking in South America and met Evelyn in Ecuador. At the beginning of the season, Evelyn and Corey lived in his family compound in Washington state. According to Corey, Evelyn was in the US on a tourist visa, and she decided to move back to Ecuador, finding it a better place to live than the US. Corey also spent $40,000 on Evelyn's cocktail bar in her hometown of Engavao. On the show, Corey traveled to Ecuador, but he was there on a tourist visa, as Evelyn was in no rush to get married. She also said she didn't want to have kids. However, Corey did say he wanted a big family. Also, Evelyn's friend Raul revealed to Corey that the whole village is mocking him as El Cachudo, a man whose girlfriend is cheating on him, due to Evelyn hooking up with her ex-boyfriend while being on a break with Corey. On the first season of The Other Way, Corey proposed to Evelyn, and she reluctantly agreed.
Will you marry me, baby?
Are you seriously doing this?
I had to at least try, because this is truly what I want to do. And you know that.
I don't know what to do.
Do you want to marry me?
I mean, that's a big question.
During the tell-all, Raul revealed that he is attracted to Evelyn as well, and Evelyn wasn't wearing her engagement ring. Evelyn and Corey's co-star Laura claimed that they are frauds, and they got officially married before the show. Laura posted some sort of a photo from an official Ecuadorian website where it is stated that Evelyn's marriage status is married. Larissa, who went on a friendly day with Corey once, revealed that he told her that Evelyn was actually deported from the US due to working illegally as a nanny, and she was banned from entering the States for years, hence the reason why Corey had to move to Ecuador. Corey and Evelyn were hoping to come back for The Other Way Season 2, however, according to Evelyn, they were dropped from the season due to the ongoing drama the couple had with Laura. The couple came back to 90 Day What Now and 90 Day Diaries. After their season, Corey and Evelyn were on and off again a couple of times, but always got back together. Currently, Evelyn and Corey are still together, living in Ecuador. Now, Evelyn and Corey are set to return to the franchise on Season 3 of The Other Way. Their storyline will still revolve around Evelyn's reluctance to marry Corey.
Wow, Evelyn. Most brides are excited, but I am legit terrified.
Es una estupidez que te quieras casar así.
Laura and Aladdin. On the first season of The Other Way, 51-year-old Laura traveled to Qatar to be with her 29-year-old fiancé Aladdin. Laura is originally from the province of Ontario, Canada, but during the show she was living in Florida as a retiree. Aladdin is originally from Tunisia, but at the time he was living and working in Qatar. The couple actually officially got married before the show in order to rent a place together in Qatar. The couple got married after spending just 9 days together, following their first meeting. On 90 Day Fiancé, Laura and Aladdin traveled together to Tunisia to have a formal wedding ceremony. Within 6 weeks of their 3-day traditional Tunisian wedding, Aladdin wanted a divorce. Following the tell-all episode, the couple had broken up. After their season, Laura started a lot of drama on social media. She claimed that she was pregnant with Aladdin's child and she had miscarried. Aladdin denied any chance of pregnancy, as according to him, they went to a fertility clinic in Qatar and she didn't have any eggs. These days, Laura claims that Aladdin was a short-tempered and toxic partner who only wanted to use her in order to obtain Canadian permanent residence. Aladdin, on the other hand, alleges that Laura catfished him with pictures when she was much younger and she concealed her age from him. He also alleged that Laura has a mental disorder she didn't tell him about before the marriage. After the show, Laura moved to Engabao, Ecuador, to be close to her friends, Evelyn and Corey. However, their friendship was short-lived. Despite that, Laura continued to live in the same town in Ecuador. On 90 Day Fiancé Self-Quarantined, Laura was planning to return to Canada from Ecuador due to the pandemic. Elodin's ex-wife Laura was featured on an April episode of the Discovery Plus show 90 Day Barzol, where she revealed that she has been dating an American man for over a year and a half, although she hasn't met him in person yet. Laura's partner is supposedly even younger than Elodin, so she's got a type. After leaving Ecuador, Laura returned to Canada, and she now resides in London, Ontario. Her boyfriend is a 90-day fiancé blogger from California and is rumored to be homosexual. Since the show, Elodin moved to Tunisia, and he's now dating a new love interest, Maria. Elodin recently posted to his Instagram that he got an offer to do a show with TLC. Devon and Jihoon. Then, 29-year-old Jihoon and 22-year-old Devon met online on an international dating app where Devon was looking for an Asian man, preferably Korean. Jihoon traveled to Las Vegas to meet Devon in person, and on their first night, the couple got together in a hotel.
Our first night together, there was no hotels except for, the lovey hotels. The day Jihoon was actually leaving for Korea, I did not feel good, and he made the joke, maybe you're pregnant. I take the test, instantly 2 lines, which is positive.
Devon was already a single mom to a daughter Drasila from her previous relationship. On season 1 of The Other Way, Devon gave birth to her and Jihoon's son, Taeyang. On that season, Devon and her newborn son went to South Korea to live with Jihoon. Devon spilled that in reality she only spent 9 days in Korea on the first season, while the show makes it look like it was way longer than that. At the end of the season, Devon and Jihoon had a traditional, non-binding wedding ceremony. After a couple of months in the US, Devon moved to South Korea long-term. During that time, the second season of The Other Way was filmed. Devon and Jihoon moved to an apartment and Jihoon was gainfully employed. Devon got pregnant again, but on the show she revealed she suffered a miscarriage. Currently, Jihoon claims that it was actually an illegal abortion, though this information is denied by Devon. On the second season, Devon and Jihoon got legally married. After that, on the show we see Devon coping with the pandemic and saying she and Jihoon have their marriage on the line, and she had to return to the States for a month to take a break.
So, a lot of stuff has been happening. My marriage is kind of on the line. We've been fighting so much, and so much differences have popped up that I see in both of us. And I feel like the only way to fix my marriage is going back to America for 1 month.
Now, on social media, Devon claimed that during that time she was desperate to leave Jihoon, accusing him of pulling Drasila's hair and punching her in the stomach. She said that the police and the production were aware of the incident. Jihoon, on the other hand, claims he didn't lay his hands on Drasila except when trying to discipline her one day. He claims that he had no idea Devon was leaving Korea for good, and in fact she only broke up with him a few months later after she left, when she was already dating a new boyfriend. Following the news of the breakup, there was a lot of talk on social media. Jihoon went live visibly upset about the situation, pledging to work hard to provide for his son. However, Jihoon has withdrawn from the legal case to fight for custody of Taeyang due to the conflict with his legal team. After that, Jihoon stopped posting on social media and removed photos of his son from the page. According to Devon, there is a criminal case against him in Korea due to her allegations of child mistreatment. In the meantime, Devon has been dating an American producer / accountant Christopher or Topher Park, who is also of Korean descent. She has been dating him for over a year. Devon says that he is the love of her life and is now a father figure to Drasila and Taeyang. Recently, Devon had a conflict with Teen Mom stars Janelle and Gabby, and the latter leaked information that Devon was pregnant this spring. Devon confirmed that she was indeed pregnant with Topher and has since miscarried. She is still legally married to Jihoon. Tiffany and Ronald. Before 90 Day Fiancé, Tiffany was living in Maryland and was a single mom to her son Daniel. According to Tiffany, she only found out she was pregnant when she was delivering the baby. Daniel's father was not in their life and he had recently passed away. Before 90 Day Fiancé, Tiffany went to South Africa on a vacation with her friend. There she met Ronald and the couple instantly had chemistry.
I got a call one night saying, "Hey friend, you want to go out for a drink? The Americans are here." And I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever, let's go. And when I got in the car, this beautiful woman is sitting in the back and we were making eye contact and I was like, hello. I'm playing Bon Jovi songs for her and I'm holding a fart because I couldn't let it out because it's the first night. This lady is next to me, she's American. And I was letting it release and it felt like heaven. All I can tell you is it worked. I'm married to her today.
During her second trip to South Africa 6 months later, Ronald proposed to Tiffany and she accepted his proposal before going back to Maryland. On The Other Way Season 1, Tiffany traveled to South Africa to marry Ronald. Initially, she was planning to stay there with her son Daniel, but due to a number of circumstances, she was inclined to leave the country. Firstly, both Ronald and Tiffany were unemployed, and Ronald was recovering from a gambling addiction. Secondly, Tiffany got pregnant, and she decided she would rather give birth in the US. The next time the couple appeared on the franchise was on 90 Day What Now Season 4, when Tiffany traveled to South Africa in order for Ronald to meet his daughter Carly Rose for the very first time. During the trip, the couple had a lot of disagreements, especially regarding on where to raise their kids. Tiffany and Ronald came back on 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After Season 6. On that season, Tiffany was contemplating either divorcing Ronald or trying for his spousal visa. She traveled to South Africa again with Daniel and Carly Rose in December 2020, planning to return around Christmas time. However, she ended up spending 4 months in South Africa. During her stay, she had multiple fights with Ronald, concerned with his compulsive spending and him not helping her out with the kids. Latest we heard, Tiffany and Ronald have broken up, and it appears they still haven't gotten back together. Initially, the couple broke up on Instagram around June this year, and Tiffany's mother claimed it was all fake for the reality TV. However, Tiffany and Ronald were back at it again in July. It all started when Tiffany posted screenshots of Ronald's emails claiming that he was manipulative. Ronald said that she was taking things out of context, that Tiffany was lying, and he also suspected she's cheating on him. The couple revealed they fought over Ronald's spousal visa submission. According to Ronald, Tiffany lied about submitting all the documents, and he found out that was not the case. Tiffany confirmed she made a mistake and didn't disclose all the information to Ronald. She said the issues with the visa was the co-sponsor. As we saw on the show, Tiffany's father agreed to sponsor Ronald. However, apparently he has issues with IRS and he couldn't do it. Tiffany then asked her friend, who agreed to sponsor Ronald, but was too busy to finalize some details. Ronald said that he is seeking legal advice to have partial custody of his daughter. Both Tiffany and Ronald said they still love each other, but they don't see how they could work things out. For now, they're still not following each other on Instagram. Though Ronald posted a few new photos of Carly and Daniel a few days ago, saying that Tiffany sent them to him. Meanwhile, Tiffany has been taking care of her health, and she recently undergone a bariatric surgery. Britney and Yazan. 26-year-old Britney and 24-year-old Yazan met through his sister, who was Britney's friend. Britney saw Yazan's sister talking to him over Skype and found Jordan's native cute. On The Other Way Season 2, Britney traveled to Jordan twice. There, she had a massive conflict with Yazan's parents, who were appalled by her social media photos. They did not know that Brittany was also legally married while dating Yazan. The first time she left Jordan, she went to obtain a divorce. The second time she left, due to the pandemic, planning to bring Yazan on a K1 visa to the United States. Soon after Britney left the country, the couple has broken up. Both Britney and Yazan moved on to build new relationships. As reported in one of her recent videos, Yazan married Jordanian Palestinian American nursing student Lina. Check out the video linked down in the description for details. In the meantime, his brother Obaida allegedly leaked information that Yazan's wife is actually his cousin, and Obaida finds her annoying. Since a recent update about Britney breaking up with her new boyfriend Terence, she appears to have found another new boyfriend. Kenneth and Armando. 57-year-old Kenny and 31-year-old Armando met on a Facebook group for single gay fathers. Despite having 4 children, Kenny had confessed that he was never even married. Armando, on the other hand, was married to a woman, and they had a daughter, Hannah. After Armando came out to his wife as gay, they have separated and tried to build a friendship. Unfortunately, there was a lot of disagreements between the two regarding the finances. One day after the fight, he decided to leave and drove away in the car, before he realized that his spouse was chasing him down in her car, and she lost control of her vehicle and passed away on sight. She was pregnant and her baby didn't make it too. Despite being separated, Armando still considered his wife to be his very best friend and was completely heartbroken. On season 2 of The Other Way, Kenny moved from St. Petersburg, Florida to La Misión, Mexico to be together with Armando. Kenneth had a major cultural shock in Mexico and witnessed homophobia. Additionally, the process of getting married for same-sex couples is way more complicated in Mexico than in the US. At the end of the season, Kenneth and Armando were finally approved to get married. The couple tied the knot in March 2021. For honeymoon, they traveled to Mexico City. The couple was back on 90 Day Fiancé franchise on 90 Day Pillow Talk. They are set to return on the next season of The Other Way. The couple is still living in Mexico with Armando's daughter Hannah together as a family. Kenny's daughter Cass recently visited them for her baby shower. Ariella and Binyam. Ariella and Binyam met when New Jersey's native traveled to Binyam's homeland of Ethiopia for a vacation after breaking up from her Argentinian ex-husband. A vacation fling turned into a serious relationship as Ariella became pregnant. On the second season of The Other Way, Ariella traveled to Ethiopia, where she gave birth to a son Aviel or Avi. She and Binyam had a lot of fights as Ariella felt lonely and isolated in a foreign country. Despite that, by the end of the season, Binyam proposed marriage and she said yes. The couple is set to return on the next season of The Other Way. In the trailer for the new season, we saw Ariella's ex-husband visiting Ethiopia and Binyam's concern she would leave with the baby to the States. As we reported in a dedicated video, Ariella and Binyam are still together and living in the US. On August 13th, Binyam had an MMA fight in New York City. He was supported by Ariella and none other than 90 Day Fiancé scandalous Angela. He won that fight and he looks forward to participating in more cage fighting. It is presumed that Ariella and Binyam are not yet married. The Ethiopian native wanted to get married in Ethiopia and have his siblings to attend, while Ariella said it would be logistically difficult to bring her family to Ethiopia. It is possible that Binyam is currently in the US on a K-1 visa. Tim and Melissa. One of the most unremarkable couples of the franchise, Tim and Melissa are still together. On 90 Day Fiancé The Other Way Season 2, 34-year-old Tim, aka Cheesesteak, revealed he had met 29-year-old Colombian native at the University of Iowa. When Melissa returned to Colombia, Tim had cheated on her with a co-worker. Despite the couple breaking up due to his infidelity, they decided to make it work and settle down in Colombia. In Colombia, Melissa revealed that she also had a sexual relationship while Tim and she were on a break. At the end of the season, Tim traveled back to the US due to not being able to find work in Colombia. After their 90 Day Fiancé finale, Tim, who was back in the US, and Melissa announced their breakup, and during a 90 Day Brazil episode, Melissa revealed that he had been with 3 co-workers instead of just 1. That episode was charged with rageful behavior from Tim, which had scandalized fans. But shockingly enough, the next episode of 90 Day Berezol, Tim and Melissa revealed that Tim had gone to Colombia and within 24 hours he was engaged to Melissa. Now the couple resides in Dallas, Texas. Melissa is currently on a tourist visa and she would have to go back to Colombia within 6 months. This July, on an episode of 90 Day Diaries, Tim and Melissa went and talked to an immigration lawyer about filing the K-1 visa and the visa process. The lawyer explained that due to the coronavirus pandemic, the K-1 visa process might take anywhere from 22.5 to 24 months to be approved. Obviously, the pair have a hard time dealing with long distance due to the trust issues. Melissa expressed her concerns that if she will have to go back to Colombia for 2 years while the visa is processing, that Tim will cheat on her again.
Completely honest, I don't really trust him still at all.
How are you marrying someone who you don't trust?
I know that it's wrong. I know that I'm not supposed to do it. I know that I'm not supposed to be with him, and I know that he doesn't respect me. I know that he doesn't deserve me. But I love him, so.
On season 3 of 90 Day Fiancé The Other Way, we will see the return of Evelyn and Corey, Jenny and Samit, Ariel and Binyam, and Kenny and Armando. Additionally, there will be 2 new couples, and we already have some spoilers about them as well. Alina and Steven. A new couple 90 Day Fiancé The Other Way is 20-year-old Alina from Russia and 25-year-old Steven from Salt Lake City. Steven, a devout Mormon from Utah, is giving up his life in America to be with Alina, a beautiful Russian woman he met a year ago on a language app. When the Russian border closes down because of the coronavirus pandemic, Steven and Alina come up with a backup plan to meet up and marry in Turkey instead. Once there, secrets of Steven's past and Alina's suspicions of his infidelity begin to threaten their future together, and Alina questions if she truly knows the man she is about to marry. Currently, Alina is back to Russia after living in Turkey for 9 months. It appears she is still in a relationship with Steven, who even calls her his wife on social media. Ellie and Victor. Another new 90 Day Fiancé couple is 45-year-old Ellie from Seattle and 38-year-old Victor from Colombia. After falling for Victor while on a trip to South America, the love-struck couple continued their long-distance relationship for 2 years. Victor lives on a small Colombian island called Providencia, and Ellie has decided it's time to leave her successful restaurant business and city life in the US for small-town island living on their little slice of paradise. As she prepares to move, the couple's issues with trust and financial concerns are dwarfed when Category 5 Hurricane Iota passes over the island of Providencia, leaving behind unimaginable destruction. Ellie loses communication with Victor the night before the storm, and after days of silence, she travels to the island, distraught and desperate to locate him. According to Starcasm, Ellie started a GoFundMe campaign in order to raise money to rebuild the damaged houses following the hurricane. This happened in November 2020. Starcasm's investigation revealed that Ellie was back in Seattle this June, and a close friend of Ellie's shared a photo taken in Seattle this June that appears to include Victor. However, there are no evidence that they are married at this time. Did you find any of the updates surprising? Please let me know down in the comments. As always, if you would like to see more videos on 90 Day Fiancé relationship updates, please consider liking this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.